When somebody asks doctors, "Doctor, do you take care of yourself?" Very few doctors would say, "Yes, of course I do," because we know that self-care actually consists of 7 aspects: physical self-care, mental self-care, emotional and social self-care, spiritual self-care, recreational self-care, and environmental self-care. And these different modes of self-care are not only for doctors but for everyone, and more important for doctors because we are also responsible for the health of our patients. So it is all the more important that we take utmost care of ourselves. Physical self-care is something that we can understand because it involves the practices that maintain and improve our physical health, such as getting adequate sleep, eating balanced meals, staying hydrated, exercising regularly, and practicing good hygiene. Caring for our body directly improves our physical health, energy, and mood. And a healthy body is better equipped to handle life's inevitable stresses, especially as a medical professional. It also lays the foundation for other self-care. Now let us see how we can improve our physical self-care. The first is nourishment. We need to eat healthy, balanced meals at correct times and stay well hydrated by drinking plenty of water. Movement of the body is very important. We need to engage in regular physical activity, which can be anything from a daily walk to a favorite sport, to boost mood and energy levels. But at the same time, rest is also important. We need to prioritize a consistent sleep schedule to ensure that we get enough restorative sleep. Practicing good personal hygiene, including regular showering and hand washing, are very important not only for us but also the patient that we are going to be treating. Apart from all these, we need to attend regular healthcare appointments, get necessary tests done, and take any prescribed medications correctly. Also important is the avoidance of harmful substances like even your intake of caffeine and alcohol, and reduce them if they negatively affect your well-being and decision making. If we have not done all this so far, it is time to get started. And it is better that we start small by incorporating consistent small changes like taking the stairs instead of the elevator, and to build healthy habits over time. We also need to start listening to our body and paying attention to what our body needs, whether it's rest, nourishment, or movement. We can also start by finding enjoyable activities like physical activities that we genuinely enjoy, because this increases the likelihood of sticking with them. Taking care of our body is important, but equally, if not more important, is taking care of our mind, the mental self-care aspect. This can be done by connecting with other people, because good relationships are important for our mental well-being, because they can help us build a sense of belonging and self-worth, and also provide emotional support and allow us to support others. So to build stronger and closer relationships, we must take time each day to be with our family. For example, to try to eat dinner together or arrange a day out with friends you have not seen for a while. Very ironically, mental self-care begins with being physically active, because being active is not only great for your physical health and fitness. Evidence also shows that it can improve your mental well-being by raising your self-esteem, helping you to set goals or challenges and achieve them, and also causing chemical changes in your brain which can help to positively change your mood. The third aspect of mental self-care is learning new skills, because research shows that learning new skills can also improve your mental well-being by boosting self-confidence and raising self-esteem again, and also helping us to build a sense of purpose. Even if you feel like you do not have enough time or you may not need to learn new things, There are lots of different ways to bring learning into your life. For example, trying on a new responsibility at work like mentoring a junior staff member or improving our presentation skills, or trying to learn to cook something new. To have a healthy mind, we must also learn to give to others. Acts of giving and kindness can help improve our mental well being by creating positive feelings and a sense of reward and giving us a feeling of purpose and self worth. Some examples of what we could try include saying thank you to someone for something they have done for us, or asking friends, family, or colleagues how they are and really listening to their answer. Another very simple way of mental self care is paying attention to the present moment, that is, mindfulness. Paying attention to the present moment includes our thoughts and feelings, our body, and the world around us, which can help us enjoy life more and understand ourselves better. Next is emotional self care. This is important because our emotions directly correlate to how we feel every day. When we have a healthy attitude about our emotions and know how to express ourselves, we will be better equipped to handle the trials and tribulations of life. So, how do we ensure emotional self care? The first is we need to know our feelings. It is natural to hold our emotions inside, but doing so can actually be quite harmful. One of the most important steps in emotional self care is learning to feel more deeply and becoming more in tune with our feelings. We also need to understand our emotional needs. Sometimes it's actually okay to be selfish because we often struggle to put ourselves and our needs first, especially when others depend on us to be strong. By choosing to focus on our emotional needs first, it will help not only us but also those around us. Another key piece of emotional self care is setting boundaries. If we struggle to put ourselves first, the chances are that we will have a tough time saying no. If something is hurting us emotionally, it might be time to evaluate its place in our life. It is all about setting boundaries and making sure that they are respected. We all have our emotional triggers, but only as we become more in tune with our emotions, we'll begin to notice patterns. When we think about what causes us to feel uncomfortable emotions, we can identify what triggers them and we can shift our focus to reducing their impact on our mental wellness. With our busy lives, it is important to embrace quiet time to rest and recharge our emotional health, especially in today's fast paced society. We need to take some time to meditate, practice breathing exercises, or write in our journal. Practicing this sort of simple self care activities can help us achieve greater mental clarity and gain a better understanding of our feelings. Physical, mental, and emotional self care are good, but we also need social self care. We need to invest time in meaningful connections because developing close relationships requires repetition. And we need to allocate time to connect with people who lift us up, even if it is just for a quick coffee or a phone call. And we must pay attention and make the effort to connect with people, and at the same time, we need to avoid people who drain us. The next is we need to practice active listening. When we ask a question, we need to listen to what they are saying. That builds relationships. It creates an environment where both parties feel valued and understood. Another part of social self care is offering and also asking for help because true support is reciprocal. While it's essential to offer help to others, we should never hesitate to ask for help when we need it. Asking for help can feel vulnerable and awkward, but letting others support you, especially in times of stress, builds a solid foundation for lasting relationships. And by helping others, it makes us feel good about ourselves. And by allowing ourselves to be helped, we are giving others the chance to feel good. Simple gestures like saying thank you to someone remind those people around us of their importance in our lives and reinforce positive feelings in the relationship. Like even the last grade worker who comes into our department to clean up the trash, and while saying thank you to him or her, we must look them in the eye and say it. That creates a personal connect and a sense of gratitude. That makes their day, and it also makes ours. We have so far taken good care of our mind and body, but what about our soul? Spiritual self care involves practices and activities that cultivate a sense of meaning, purpose, and connection to what is larger than us, whether it's a religious faith, nature, or the broader human experience. Spiritual self care is important because it helps us align with our deepest beliefs and values. It provides a sense of purpose and meaning in life. It can also enhance our connection to our higher self or a greater power, leading to increased inner peace, calm, and clarity. And obviously, such spiritual practices can act as a buffer against stress, trauma, and burnout. And what should we do for this spiritual self care? It could be contemplative practices like meditation and mindfulness, where quieting the mind and focusing on the present moment are done, or prayer, that is communicating with a higher power, whether alone or in a group, or journaling, that is reflecting on thoughts, beliefs, and experiences. Writing a diary is one of these contemplative practices. The next is nature and stillness. Spending time in nature or connecting with the natural world to reduce stress and finding peace. Even solitude is important because enjoying quiet time to be with our own thoughts is also a type of spiritual self care. The third type of spiritual self care is service and connection, like acts of kindness and service, contributing to the well being of others and feeling connected to the community, or practicing forgiveness, letting go of anger and resentment to foster inner peace. Some people believe in lot of rituals, attending spiritual services or retreats, and participating in religious or spiritual gatherings would also help some of us. Practicing gratitude, that is, focusing on the things that we are thankful for, in other words, counting our blessings, is a type of spiritual self care. Recreational self care involves engaging in enjoyable hobbies and leisure activities that recharge our mental and physical well being, like creative arts, outdoor activities, social connections, or a physical movement. The goal is to break from the routine, foster personal expression, and boost overall joy and fulfillment. This kind of recreational self care is not in our regular professional schedule. We need to incorporate it into our lifestyle. And this can be done by dedicating time, even small bursts of time, in our daily or weekly routine for activities that we genuinely enjoy. We can provide recreational self care. We also need to explore our interest. We can try new hobbies or revisit old ones that bring us joy. And we must also listen to our needs. That is, we need to be present and aware of activities that make us feel rejuvenated and balanced. So far, we have been talking about ourselves, our physical health, our mental health, our recreational, social, and spiritual health. But what is environmental self care? It involves actions that nurture both personal well being and the health of the planet, encompassing both and engaging in sustainable practices like reducing waste, conserving energy, and connecting with nature. So, caring for the environment could be either our personal environment or the wider environment. We can take care of our personal environment by decluttering and organizing, because keeping our living and working spaces tidy reduces stress and promotes a sense of calm. By creating an appealing atmosphere, by adding plants, natural light or decorations, these enhance our mood and peace of mind. And ensuring a healthy indoor environment, like the use of natural scents and air purifiers. By taking care of the wider environment or our planet, we are also taking care of ourselves. We need to consume mindfully by using reusable bags, water bottles, and sustainable products, and opt for second hand items when possible. We need to reduce waste. We can recycle paper, glass, and cans and minimize the use of single use plastics. We must also conserve energy by turning off lights when leaving a room and use public transportation or bike or walk when feasible. And more importantly, I feel that supporting local and organic options, like purchasing food from the farmers' markets and choosing organic products to support a healthier planet.